long as well. Scrap yarns are perfect for long socks because you can just keep adding and adding. I understand because I love it too. Again, scrap yarn projects are usually very cozy. Oh, actually I found more squares. Hello. I feel like saying good morning, but it probably isn't morning when you're watching this, so I'm just gonna go with hello. I'm Lina, and this is my channel where I talk all about knitting, mostly my own designs, but knitting and yarn crafts in general, and the life of a knitter. I'm so happy that you're here, whether you're new or a returning viewer. I'm based in Helsinki, Finland, and yeah, let's go. You can call this a belated January chat. I didn't film earlier in January because I had surgery mid-December and my recovery period was a lot longer than expected. I've gone back to work now. I was on sick leave for 6.5 weeks, I believe, and I still have a bit of difficulty sitting and walking, so that's why I'm doing this video standing up, because I didn't know how long I would be doing this for. What I'm going to talk to you today is scrap yarn projects, past, present, maybe future, who knows where this will go. But yeah, it started when I was doing a bit of an organization on my yarn things, so my yarn and all my whips and things on my needles. We're going through everything we own and just sort of getting rid of things that are broken, things that we no longer need, things that we don't even know what they are. We don't have a lot of stuff, but our house is very small, so it's starting to feel a bit crowded here. So we're just going through everything, and that included my knitting and my yarn. So instead of not necessarily just getting rid of, but figuring the perfect place to store them and sort of, you know, house organization. Anyway, so I found these several scrap yarn projects that I was going, that were sort of just started and never finished. And then I remembered that this is a recurring theme that has happened so many times before. And then my mind went into, but what have I finished? So I've gathered everything here around me, so it's quite a mess. And I just thought it would be interesting and maybe inspirational. Because if you knit a lot, you have a lot of yarn ends. So, or you know, leftover skeins, odd ends. Let's go and see what the projects are. I know I dropped some. I think one of the very first things, and something that no longer has sort of, I don't know what to use this for, but it's this blanket that I knit when my son was a toddler. He's 15 now, so quite a long while ago, and clearly, as you can see, there are a lot of the same colors, so this isn't purely a scrap yarn project. I think these were skeins that I had nothing to do with, or left over from other projects. And then there are things that are clearly just scrap yarn, that there's just ones there. But this is a bit of an odd shape because it was for a small human, so I guess it could be a lap blanket. I might move it to the car in case we need something warm in there, but I don't know. But it's full of memories, so it has stayed. It has stayed, and on it goes. I think these are just, I think there are several squares. There are metered squares and then just quarter stitch squares and a border. I don't remember if I followed a pattern or not. That was maybe the kind of the first scrap yarn thing that I've ever done. And then one of the things that I finished and occasionally use are these scrap yarn shorts. These are a pattern by Stephen West, They were for full leggings, but I went with shorts since the legs are kind of too wide to be leggings, and I thought they would just be baggy pants and I would never use them. So so I went with shorts, and yeah, I've worn these occasionally. If it's been kind of really cold, I've thrown them on over cozy winter leggings, or worn them under sort of under my outdoor pants as an extra layer. So yeah, not completely useless, but yeah, I chose the wrong size for these, so I should have gone smaller for them to be the kind of leggings that I wanted. So might give the pattern another go, might not. I do have scrap yarn. Scratch that. I don't think I have that much scrap yarn to knit the entire pair of leggings, but I do have sort of skeins of fingering weight yarn that I don't know what to do with. Okay, one of the most used and I think most loved scrap yarn projects that I've done are these seat warmers, or not seat warmers, but they're seat covers, cushions. We use them all summer on our balcony. And we've got wooden chairs, and if we go out there to eat, we just grab these and sit, and they look wonderfully quaint, eclectic, and they are actually quite just the perfect sort of cushiony. So it's I believe this is sort of like Aran weight. So I've been using several different yarns, doing combinations. It might be 4 fingerings, or it might be 2 DKs, or a lace and a worsted. And I've just knit a really large rectangular and folded it in half, and then crocheted the edges. I've got 3 of these. This one, this is number 2, and this is number 3. So I've got 3 of these. There are 3 living in this house, so it's a perfect number for us. When we have guests, I guess I could do at least 1 more, 2 more. But yeah, love these. All right, so then on to socks. I think every knitter has knit a pair of scrap yarn socks, and so have I. They're usually stripy, like these. I think all of mine are. No pattern, just went with it, and I've had a solid gray color here that I've used in between all of the stripes. And yeah, they've been patched, so they've been worn. I've been wearing them so much that I've had to patch the heels on all of them, or both of them. Then the second pair is here. They're really long. I think these were sort of advent calendar yarns. So I was part of this exchange where I sent mini skeins to different people, and different people sent them to me, so that we all had 24 in total. And this is, I think, the year that I actually managed to stick to something like that and knit all 24 into these socks. And this is one of the first patterns that I published, so this is free on my Ravelry site, and it's not I don't call it I don't call it a pattern. It's more of a recipe, but it'll give you an idea of how to do these. And as you can see, they're also pin patched. There's some pilling, but yeah, I still use them. I love them. Another pair of socks, long. These ones are long as well. Scrap yarns are perfect for long socks because you can just keep adding and adding. You won't run out as easily as if you had a single skein of sock yarn. But yes, so these are my walk with me socks, and these are actually a pattern that's for sale on my Ravelry store, but absolutely adore them. And then there are still more things that I finished, and these two are shawls. Both are something I've designed myself and are for sale in my Ravelry store, so you can get the patterns. This is the famous Memory Keeper shawl. This is one of my all-time bestsellers. And yeah, I understand, because I love it too. It's a triangle shawl, the traditional type. It uses a base yarn and then just all the scrap yarn you can put in. Yeah, I love it. It's large, it's cozy. Yeah, and it's filled with memories. And that's one of the reasons I love scrap yarn, because they're just, they have memory. Pretty much all knits have memories of where you knit them, where you got the yarn, who you knit it for, who knit it for you, you know, on and on. Where'd you find the pattern? Was it part of a stitch along? Was it sort of the pattern where you learned something new? But yeah, but the scrap yarn projects, they're very unique, because it's like a combination of what yarns you have acquired. They're never two pairs that, or two projects that look the same, and then it's all of those memories combined. But yeah, I'm sorry, I always get on these sort of tangents. So the next shawl is this. It's called Heartful, and the pattern is currently only available in my book, A Little Book of Moon Inspired Shawls, but I will, during this year, I will release it as a single pattern as well. So yeah, again, I've carried two, or I think sometimes three, but two yarns together and just changed them at different intervals, or basically when they run out. And just to give it more of a fun vibe, I've left the yarn ends and added some more for little tassels along the pattern, but of course you can weave in the ends and have something that looks a bit more like this then. But yeah, again, scrap yarn projects are usually very, very cozy, and this one is no different. All right, the next category is things that I've sort of finished. There's this. I'm sorry, I cannot remember the name for this, but if I find it somewhere, I'll put it on the screen or in the description below. But this was a huge hit. It was Beekeeper, anyway, this was a huge hit back in the day, and I jumped on it. So you knit these puffs, what are these? Anyway, these puffs, you knit these puffs and fill them with polyfiber, and this would have been the coziest blanket, but it's just, I never finished it. And I tried my best. I think I had them first as individuals, and then I just started adding them up to see, or joining them, I mean, to see how much I still had to do, and it was just too much. So this is what I ended up with. I thought of doing it as a pillow or whatever, but currently this is used under my desk. Our floors are a bit drafty here on the ground floor, so when I'm sitting at my computer, it's really nice and it insulates my feet from the floor. So this has been super nice there with since it is so puffy and nice. And now I see that there is actually something that I need to repair there. So I'm gonna put this aside and fix it today. So yeah, because that's used on the floor, there are some yarn ends still flying around free. Right now, the main thing for that is that it's functional, it serves a purpose. Then another thing that was meant to be a blanket but turned into a pillow. I think this was a very popular pattern as well. Don't remember the name for this one either. But yes, so this one is where you knit these mitered squares sort of by constantly adding them on, so there's no joining in. You don't knit them block by block, but you just add, you keep adding. And at some point I realized that I was never going to finish it into a quilt, and I turned it into a large pillow, and this has been on my couch for years and years. So yeah, very much in use, but not what it was meant to be. And this next one isn't technically a scrap yarn project, but it fits into the theme of blankets that I never finished, but got a pillow. So this one was a Kalevala themed crochet along, and it was just a bit too advanced because I'm not really a crocheter. So they released these blocks at certain intervals. I don't remember what it was, maybe every 2 weeks, maybe every week. But anyway, it took me a lot longer to finish each square, so I was falling more and more behind, and that sort of tucked into my motivation. So I was happy to end up with 8 squares, and again, this pillow has been on my couch for years and I just love it. So again, don't regret starting it, but kinda feel like I shouldn't start blankets, but I have started. All right, and then the final topic, final category is the current scrap yarn projects, and this is one of them. This is again a crochet blanket, but this one I actually loved working on. I think it's because you just add them on here and you can see how it grows. And I worked on it so much in one go that I ended up with a very sore thumb. Can't remember which thumb, it must be this thumb. And it turns out, because I have these joints that really flex, sort of overextend, it was both this and this, so it was really causing me pain here on my thumb. So I had to quit working on it. It's been fine now, and I think I should just start doing, even if I did 1 block a week, I would eventually have a blanket, and I just love this. So you can do this with scrap yarn. I'm doing this mostly with half-used or full skeins that have been left over from other projects, so maybe not for those minimal amounts, although there are really small squares as well. But yeah, so that's what it looks like, and I keep running out of the skeins or the yarns, so it'll, over here, the final block will be then maybe completely different to the first one, but I think I quite like the gradual change in the color scheme. And then there are 3 more that are just blocks. Okay, again, this is from individual skeins left over from others, so that's why they're all looking the same. This was meant to be a cropped cardigan. I still might do it because I do like the look of these. I like the color scheme that I picked. I'm not sure if I have enough yarn for all of them, but then I can maybe do the body and sleeves in different colors, but I need to find the pattern. But yes, this is something that I haven't completely given up on. Oh, and these live in this sort of basket that I got from my mom. I think she's had this for ages. And then there are these hexagons that, yeah, the insides are with mini skeins, scrap yarns, and then I'm just using this brown yarn in the border. Again, don't know if I would have had enough of it for the entire quilt or blanket that it was supposed to be. But this has been, I haven't worked on this maybe for 5 years, so I pretty much think that I'm not gonna finish this. And since these squares are a bit odd shaped, I'm not sure what I can do with this if I'm not doing the entire blanket. I can try to arrange them for yet another pillowcase. But yeah, I kind of really like this. I mean, these are beautiful. But it's just too much work, and then to have to join all of these, I just don't think I'm a blanket maker. I'm a blanket person, definitely. I love blankets. But yes, it's taken me a long time to believe that, and surprise, surprise, there's yet a third. Let me just put these two other ones on the basket. And so there's a third blanket that I haven't finished. These are just very basic garter stitch, end to end, increased and decrease. And this is for heavier yarns that I've had left over. I think worsted weight, I'd say. Yeah. Just all sorts of, they are pretty fast to knit each square, but also maybe not that interesting. And then I would need to join all of these. So this is again something I'm still a little bit thinking about. Maybe I should do this, maybe not, I don't know. But again, these have been sitting in this basket for years. And I think from now on, I'm not gonna start blankets, at least blankets that are made from squares. So if I want to do a blanket, I'm gonna just cast on all the stitches and go. Don't know if that works. I've got a lot of scrap yarn. Oh, actually I found more squares. I don't even know what these are. These are granny squares that I've done from mini skeins that I have, but I have no memory of what these were meant to be. I don't think they were meant to be a blanket, and there are only 4 of them. I've got, and I found this, I didn't even know, I thought I didn't have these anymore, but I've got this whole back that's filled with mini skeins, full mini skeins that I've acquired over the years. Again, I haven't bought mini skeins in ages, but I still got a ton of them. And then I've got a basket full of just sort of random scrap yarn, leftover skeins, and a jar full, I'm just looking over next there over there, and a jar full of sock yarn. And I think I'm gonna knit a pair of scrap yarn socks soon, but any ideas for these mini skeins, any ideas for random scrap yarn, any idea on what to do with my squares, whether I just push through and make the blankets, I don't know. But yeah, I love using scrap yarns. I love the idea of it. I love the look of most of the projects. I love the sort of randomness of the finished objects and the uniqueness. And I love that you can do like decor, knitted decor with them. I love that you can do very simple crochet stitches with them and just sort of use a different method of using the yarns. Yeah. Any scrap yarn tips? What are your views on scrap yarn? What is your most beloved scrap yarn project? I would love to hear, so leave a comment down below. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another video soon.